Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on. You know, the incompetence of this White House was just put on display this week with that Afghanistan report, which was a disaster. And now we have Ukraine. The timing couldn't be any worse. What are your thoughts tonight?
Well, Rob, obviously I had firsthand experience of what was happening in Afghanistan and the disastrous withdrawal of the American people. And here's something that we all know. If someone won't admit that they made a mistake, they're destined to repeat it. And I will tell you, I've said in briefings the last 2 weeks from our alphabet agencies, the ICs, and they're telling us that they're working on contingency plans to get Americans out. And I reminded them, yeah, we heard this before, and it was a complete disaster. Tell me what lessons you learned to say that we're not going to repeat it this time. And we've seen the exact same thing. This same press conference they had about all Americans need to get out, and don't assume that we're going to come to your rescue. Don't assume we're going to be there. They said the same thing in Afghanistan. And, well, I tell you one thing, they were true. They sure didn't come to the rescue. They sure didn't try to help them out. They sure left a whole bunch of people there while they said everybody that wanted out could get out. The problem you have is when you're in a situation like this and you're given 24 to 48 hours to get out and war is imminent, what starts happening is all the aircrafts that's got to fly in to get these people in, all of a sudden they can't fly into the airspace because the airspace is deemed a war zone. Right. So the insurance to be able to fly into those areas with commercial aircraft, they almost don't exist. And so only military aircraft or private aircraft can go in and get these people. And when that happens, most people can't afford to get out. So a lot of people wanted to leave Afghanistan early and they couldn't. And I guarantee a lot of people want to leave Ukraine right now and they can't. And instead, we're just running and leaving, and we show extreme weakness. This isn't Reagan's day, peace through strength, Rob. This is absolute a disaster, and the president is a laughingstock of the world.
You sound like you're quite confident that Ukraine is going to make this move. If that is the case, and it does happen, if it does happen, who defends Ukraine in that moment? If we don't go in to defend Ukraine, who is going to defend them?
Well, you know, I got to have mixed feelings about this because, you know, if you've ever been in a situation where you've been down range before, you never want to go back again. And so I don't want to just jump to a war. That's not where I'm wanting to go. But we got to realize, what is Ukraine? Why is Ukraine so special to Putin? Ukraine has one of the largest natural petroleum and or not petroleum, but fossil fuel deposits outside of Russia in Europe. Ukraine also has a large deposit of rare earth minerals too, and they're one of the biggest in Europe. Putin wants his hands on that. And so the rest of Europe, those that are there in the European Union, they should take the lead, and then the United States, honestly, should be willing to back them up. We should be there assisting in every way possible.
Do you think that there are other countries that will?
Europe isn't going to take the lead. It's hard for us to jump in and say, "Hey, we're going to do this."
Is anybody going to jump in? I mean, who is going to jump in? Who does Ukraine have right now? Because they can't beat Russia on their own.
I mean, you have President Biden here that is dispatching troops to Eastern Europe. Putin's laughing. Yeah. He says we're going to create sanctions, and even Germany right now is saying we will agree to do sanctions on Russia. Well, they didn't exactly say it, but they're saying that. They're signaling that.
Gotcha.
I guarantee you, Putin's already calculated that. He's not an idiot. He's calculated sanctions being put on him, but he also knows once he gets Ukraine, he's going to control the energy sector. He's going to control the natural gas, and he's going to control the crude oil. When he controls that over Europe, Europe is going to be beholden to Russia, and he knows that. And so sanctions or not, you're going to have to do business with us, because the only other option you had, Rob, was to get to the United States, because we were exporting, because we could have been independent and have it be an exporter in crude and natural gas. Right. But Biden's administration has changed that, right?
That up.
He's wanting to eliminate all fossil fuels. So now our allies aren't even going to be able to depend on us for that.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot to this. Congressman, thank you so much. We got a lot to get to. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time.